statement is, what if $1 million business idea happened to a goat? That's my wow statement. So, and I kind of, in the analogy, I'm the goat. I feel like I have a great idea, and it just happened to me. Does that make sense? The one person that does not have, really good business acumen, not a lot of resources, not a lot of experience. So, but I know it's a great idea. And the reason I know this is because we've actually started a campaign where we're doing cold calls and reaching out to our demographic, which are daycares. And the response that we're getting is tremendous. We're getting our equipment in next week. And let me just tell you a little bit about the business. I'm trying to follow the points that I wrote down, but I'm just going to talk about the business since I know it, if that's okay. So what Hoverkingz is offering an alternative to bounce houses. It's another form of kid entertainment, but what we're doing is we're bringing electric ride-on vehicles to daycares, and versus having them in bounce houses, confined spaces, we have them in an open air environment. It's a lot more safe than being in a bounce house. And my conversations with some of the daycare directors is they were cutting activities because they didn't have anything to do that was safe for kids. Just to give you another example, I went to one daycare. I let them know that what we're doing. I asked them, what do you guys have coming up towards the end of the school year, beginning of the school year for activities? A lot of schools and daycares will have end of the school year carnivals, and they might have back to school carnivals. Well, in that conversation, she let me know that we have a summer camp, and we're desperate right now for activities for the kids because it's not a lot for them to do with COVID. So she let me know right then that as soon as I get my equipment in, that she's definitely going to be a client. So I don't have much in terms of presentation. I told you I'm the worst presenter, but just to give you a bit of background about myself, I have an invention, wacky worm race. And I was explaining to Josh yesterday that I've been able to go on TV. I've been on ABC's The Toy Box with my other invention. I've done it at the Orlando Magic halftime show. I was invited to New York Toy Fair inaugural Inventors Day about 2 years ago. So that's just to let you know that I have some really good ideas. But then my wow statement, I'm not the best person for it to happen to as far as execution. Again, resources, getting things rolling. So that's the gist of my presentation. My ask today would be, for someone that's a novice in terms of business, what resources would I be able to get from 1 Billion Cups for Orlando area as far as business to business networking? Man, this presentation was a lot better yesterday with Josh. I feel like I'm on the spot right now. But how are we looking on times?
You've got a little over 1 minute left.
Okay. Check my notes. So
Cedric, share your vision. Share your vision that you shared with me yesterday.
Okay. So this is going to start out small. My mentor told me to bite off little chunks, bite off what you can chew, and then bite off a little more, bite off a little more. So that's what I'm doing. We have a lineup of 7 devices that we're going to start with, but this is going to transform into a hoverboard league. This is going to transform into a brick and mortar similar to Monkey Joe's. I've already contacted the inflatable department that makes inflatables. So we're starting out with just the ride-ons at first, but then it's going to transform into inflatable courses that kids are going through. Um, like it's so many practical applications. Think about downtown Orlando and the electronic scooters. When that was rolling out 2-3 years ago, I had a meeting with the city of Orlando, and they were trying to see what I was doing that might be comparable to what they're doing. We're gonna have the electronic scooters, but our model is gonna focus more on renting them. They rent by minute downtown. We're gonna rent by day or by week with the electronic scooters for our business people that might want to use it for commuting back and forth to work. So we're just our motto is everything electric, ride-on rentals. So anything that's electric that you can ride on, a personal transportation vehicle, we're going to offer that in our packages. So that's yes. Did I hear a question?
Well, great, Cedric. Well, yeah, we're gonna open it up to some of the questions that we've got. Good, good job, and you know that you need to work on some things, and that's what we're here to help you with.
Okay.
So, Josh,
thanks for sharing, Cedric, because first of all, okay, maybe your presentation wasn't as good as it's going to be in the future, but you've done something that a lot of folks still haven't. You've stepped out and you've shared honestly what you're doing in business, and you're asking for help. And right there, that puts you leagues ahead of most other folks that are out there trying to be shy in their business. So just congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And what I'm hearing is you can have I'm hearing for kids, they can have fun and be safe, right?
That's correct.
Or sanitary, right? Are you messaging that? Is that part of your message that, look, you can have fun and be safe against all this new pandemic stuff that we're dealing with?
Yeah, we're coming up with some different marketing campaigns right now. And again, not my area of strong expertise. So that's why I'm here, just to get some different approaches in order to roll this out to the public.
Great. Danny would like to know, how are you going to finance this? In other words, so what does a vehicle cost? What are you going to charge? And how are you funding it?
Okay, great question. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we've been planning for about a year, and we started getting equipment around February or March. So I knew I didn't want to, just being out of pocket and anything that's out of my personal income and my partner's income. What we did is we started buying stuff a few months ago. Right now we have a trailer for transportation. We have 20 ride-on vehicles that'll be here next week from overseas. And that's just that's the first in our lineup. That's going to allow us to go after daycares. We're looking for business to business to start out with. And then from that, we're going to get the word of mouth. Somebody sees it at the daycare facility, then they like it, then they can, get in contact with us. But we figure if we go business to business first, then we'll have steady stream prospects. Because like I was explaining to Josh yesterday, if you on your way from wherever you are right now, just pick any road and you'll notice that it's at least 2, 3, 4 daycares on any given street, even more prevalent than high schools and elementary schools, I think, combined. So if we can find a way to service them, they still need activities. Just like the one director said that they need different activities. They're canceling activities because they don't have anything that's safe for the kids. So that's where we step in. I hope I answered your question.
I think so. Can you describe in more detail what devices you're using? So when you say hoverboard, do you mean the 2-wheel skateboards or actual hovercraft? Or can you give us a little more detail on exactly what these devices are? Okay,
the idea originated just from hoverboards. So that's where Hoverkingz come from. But then when I had this idea a few years ago, I actually bought a couple hoverboards and let some kids try out on it. It was scary watching it, to be honest with you. So that started me to thinking, okay, what can we get that's not so, maybe not as big of a risk for little kids. So that's where the riding vehicles came on. And we have them with remote controls. So if the kids don't have the dexterity to be able to drive, then teacher or parent can get the remote control and kind of guide the kid. But I'm sorry, what was your question again?
No, that actually helps. So these are four-wheel, like electric cars in a way.
That's right, to
Okay.
start. And then we are going to have hoverboards for bigger kids and adults, but for the kids, it's mainly sit down for mitigating insurance risk purposes. So I'm going to have the kids mostly sitting down in cars, but then they also have hoverboard carts. It's basically a go-kart, electric go-kart is what it is. So that was another reason I was like, okay, how can I come to a school with maybe 5 or 10 go-karts? You probably can't do that, but you can come to the school with maybe 5 or 10 hover carts. They're not loud. They don't use gas. You can control the speed. So they have settings where you can, make it low speed only. So, we basically going to offer everything, every type of ride-on electronic device for entertainment, but then there are also some practical applications as well, like commuting back and forth, inner city, you know, just like downtown with the scooters.
Okay, Chloe would like to know what are the age ranges you're targeting for all this?
Starting off, again, daycare age kids. That's the main focus right now, because that's what we've been focusing on, and we've been getting the most feedback. But it's going to be for all ages. We're going to have some type of equipment that anybody that's interested may not want to go out and buy it at that price point, but will be able to come to us and experience it. And not just experience it by themselves by buying one. You can have your whole family and go on a tour the city or something like that. So.
Okay, and also, would you do birthday parties as well, or are you just mainly focused on daycare for now?
Absolutely. We are the bounce house exterminators. So we're trying to run them out of business. I explained to Josh, I've rented bounce houses twice for my daughter. But after you rented it and had it for 1 or 2 birthdays, then do you keep doing that? So we're just trying to offer an alternative to all the bouncy houses.
All right, cool. Eric mentioned, is there a reason bouncy houses aren't safe? And if there are, that might be something to include in your message, which I agree with.
Well, kids jump on them and they have incidents of getting hurt, but you don't see a lot of them now because of the pandemic. I mean, if you're going to go to a birthday party, you don't want your kid jumping all on top of somebody else's kid and don't know if they're vaccinated, don't know the whole scene. So it's a fear element there in terms of people getting out, and we're trying to give people activities where they can get back outside and trying to get back to normal, So I guess that's what the country's pushing for now, to try to get back to some sense of normalcy. So we're trying to offer that.
Okay. Chloe's question is, what about safety? Will the kids wear helmets? Are there seat belts?
Yeah, they are equipped with seat belts. When I got them from overseas, they asked me that I want to have a 2-seater, 1-seater. So again, thinking along the lines of pandemic, we have all our cars as 1-seaters. They're gonna, in between each use, they're gonna sanitize it. Similar to you go to LA Fitness or Planet Fitness, you work out on the equipment, you get up, you're supposed to wipe it down. So it's gonna be following that practice. And it's low speed. It has remote controls for safety. We do offer helmets, but for the low speed ones, I don't see that as being necessary. We'll offer it, but they're going 1 mile, 2 miles per hour. So even if they bump into another one, it's not gonna be like a head-on collision or anything. Such low speeds.
Okay. Are you exclusive to Orlando, Florida, or are you looking nationwide?
We're gonna start in Orlando, and for now, the plans are to move to Tallahassee, Havana, Tallahassee area, and then the Tampa area. So it's going to be like a 3-city, like even Orlando is going to be the greater Orlando area, Orlando, Altamont, Kissimmee, Sanford, those places. So
okay,
that's it.
Eric says he's got visions of a room full of helicopter parents all driving their kids around with remote controls. So kind of like the bumper cars, but for parents, using their kids as the bumpers. But anyways, that's kind of cool.
We have an ideal of a baby race, like a Daytona 500 with parents.
Now
So-
that would be fun. I would find someone's kid just to go do that race. I would borrow a child.
Yeah.
Trevor wants to know, will you be renting, leasing, or selling these electric vehicles? And if
Uh,
rent or
we're-
lease, is it by the day, month, or longer? So if you are going to lease them, how long?
We're renting the vehicles. Right now, the model is half a day or whole day, and we're not doing individuals. You have to rent a set of 4 up to a set of 10. Again, we're going after organizations and groups initially just to get some traction and to get ourselves going. I saw a question in there about Mario Kart. Man, we have some exciting stuff coming when it comes to hoverboard. Imagine the Z-orbs, the big balls on hoverboards. Boom. We have ideas for hoverboard Pac-Man. Like, we have to be careful as far as licensing and stuff like that. So it's going to be our version of hoverboard Pac-Man. And the Mario Kart, a lot of companies are doing that. But we offer costumes. So, like, let's say you rent a set of 4 electric vehicles. You have the option to get it themed, where you can do the Mario Kart, or you can do the and it might just be something as far as a helmet and just the Mario hat on top of it or something like that. Nothing too dramatic, but we're gonna have fun with this. I'm real melancholy right now, but trust me, I'm on. When I think about this, I'm on 10,000. I'm so waiting for next week till we can get these. And we had a army tank ride on. We have these are not just the ride-ons that you remember. These are the 2020-21 ride-ons.
Did you have any pictures of these vehicles that you can share, or is that just the one behind you?
Yeah, just that one. That's the Audi.
Okay.
But
Nima says you may want to consider state fairs as well. Maybe there's something there that you can leverage with a state fair or a bigger event, I guess, like that.
I like that. I hadn't thought about that, but that might work.
Yeah, and Rupert mentioned he's got a lot of really good comments, a lot of stuff that we talked about yesterday, but you really want to plan out your anticipated success and be able to tell us the entire story, right? In that nice formatted thing we talked about.
I know, Josh.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is just growth for next time. So make sure you download the comments, because Rupert has a lot of great information there. What he shared about bringing your value out, sharing why you're doing it and what you're doing.
Okay.
Sheila says there's a large expo that happens every year at the Orange County Convention Center. It might be a great place to be a vendor and get your company known. And she put a link there.
Family
so
and
maybe
friends.
be sure to check that out.
Families or something. Is that the one?
I don't know if that's the one. MyCentralFloridaFamily.com.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
family and kids. I went to it years ago with my kids, and it's humongous. It's absolutely
Yeah.
humongous. But I saw a lot of great ideas there. It says it's listed November 13th through the 14th this year. And there's on that link, click here for exhibitor information, so you can at least get more info. But I know there was a lot of great opportunities there. And I used a lot of the services I found there as well. So I think it'd be a great opportunity to check into.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yale has a question. Is this for adults as well? Can adults use this, or is this really specifically for kids? Because he's thinking team building for corporations.
Absolutely. We're starting out with the ride-ons for kids, but as I stated earlier, we're going to have hover cart kits. In essence, that's a go-kart without the loud muffler and having to fill it with gas. You take your hoverboard and you put an attachment on it, and you're driving just like a go-kart. So those are going to be more for the adults and bigger kids. I even have something for big guys. Big guys can't get on hoverboard if you're 250 plus. So we're going to have some heavy duty off-road hoverboards for big guys that, want to get on it, but, Gravity says that it's not for us.
We call those trucks.
So you mentioned trying to put the bouncy houses out of business. Have you thought about collaboration instead of them as competition? Because you're offering, you got the same target market, but you've got different enough services where it might be value add to have both in one location, maybe. I don't know if that's makes sense or not.
Yeah, it does. It does. I know a guy that's been doing that for years. So I thought about maybe collaborating with him, but then I don't really want to do bounce houses because it's been done to death. So if someone wants to, it's sort of like we serve chicken at our restaurant. Do we want to start serving hamburgers because everybody's eating hamburgers? I think we want to focus on being the best chicken restaurant that we can be, and just go with that. So that would be my focus.
All right, absolutely. And so exit strategy wise, or you said success was you're going to create a league that
Yes.
you're going to have competitions, and this is going to be kind of like a new movement in a way. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That is correct. My goal is, as we're going to these different organizations, keeping my eye out for any little kid that's maybe the next Andretti. So we're going to get him and maybe talk to the parents and let them know, hey, I see some potential and we're trying to start a league. Would you mind if your kid, maybe run around with us or come to our events and be our, our ringer. So
my only other concern, I guess, here would be intellectual property. And is what you're doing unique in some way, or do you have, is this kind of a branding first to market thing, or is this something where you've got, in other words, how do you defend someone from coming in and duplicating what you're doing?
I can't. The biggest thing I would be able to do is to have be so far down the road that it'll be hard to kind of catch up with us. So I don't see any way to patent this or copyright it or anything to prevent anyone from coming in. It's just make sure that we're far enough along the road, and they don't know all the things that we have coming. So that will be our only other strategy to protect against that.
Okay, so yeah, first to market, a branding
Right.
thing where it just latches on, and your name is so well known. Got it.
When they're coming, then everybody knows that they're trying to spin off.
Okay.
One of those things.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Scott for our final question and one of our most important questions.
Again, Cedric, great idea. We can tell that you're passionate about your idea. As the 1 Million Cups community, the question that we ask is, what can we do for you?
Okay. We're going to be rocking and rolling next week. I called the port, and the port in Tampa, and they said that I'm estimated delivery Monday or Wednesday of next week. Wednesday, I'm going to be, I'm going to get the product and I'm going to bring them here, but then, I'm going to be back on the phones, making those calls. Even before then, like when I get off of this call, I'm going to get back into making cold calls and everything leading up until next week. Once we get equipment in, we already have a few people interested. We want to increase that. But what can you guys do to help me out is I'm just trying to get out there, get the word out about what we're doing. We're looking business to business. Okay, let me throw something else out. Food trucks. Like I wouldn't want to partner with bouncy houses, but food trucks gather a lot of people. So, just something like that might be something that I might want to do is find out where the food trucks are going to be and see if we can partner with them. Well, I don't know anyone that has a food truck. So I need resources. I need connections. That's what I need. I don't necessarily need money because we have everything that we need. I just need resources to be able to, capitalize on Orlando, because this is not a nationwide product at this point. I don't think. We do have some ideas to franchise later, or maybe get a fleet, but right now I just need to get started. And if you guys know of any daycares or after daycares, it's going to be property management companies like apartment complexes and subdivisions, and also churches. So
Okay.
any organization that you think might benefit from our service, maybe you're over some kind of youth group that you might benefit from the service. I just need to be in contact with those type of people. That's it.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you again, Cedric.